And today we are speaking about your opportunity to become a developer, a front-end developer specifically, right? So here is our topic, and like I said, it's very easy. What is your opportunity to become a developer in 2021? All right, what do you need to learn? What are the projects you're going to build in this 5-day challenge, right? Specifically, and of course, what are the importance of being a developer, and how do you make sure that you do not fall off the wagon of making a career switch or becoming the developer in this whole process, right? Because it's not easy. It's not an easy situation at all, right? But let's go and get this party started, my friends. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and screen share. I'm gonna play this. Okay. Oh, nice. Oh, All right. So you know the drill at this point. Okay. Time to go ahead and focus. All right. There we go. So still at the end, guys, what we're talking about, we'll be giving you an epic portfolio for free to put all the projects you build over the next 5 days. Okay. Very, very important. Let's go ahead. This is the portfolio that we are looking at. Beautiful portfolio. This is David. I don't know if you guys know David. He is a crazy guy, but he's a cool guy. And this is your portfolio. So we're giving you the projects. So not only will you guys build 3 projects already in these next few days, which is basically like a marathon. What you're doing right now is you're doing a marathon. And you're building 3 amazing projects. And then you're going to put those projects in your portfolio, which then you can use for your LinkedIn, for your resume. You can use it when you go into a job interview and, just showcase what you know. All right. So this is crazy. 3 days next 5 days. I'm talking about. Of course, share and tag us your posts. We would love to see everybody's, what you guys are working on. Tag us here at Clever Kazi and Naz Dumansky, of course, so that we can all see what you're doing. This is the whole amazing team that's made this all happen. Please give them our applause for the amazing team who's making sure that this is all being done. Without them, this is not possible. If this was like this, this is very hard to do this with one person. Trust me, to make it all happen, it takes an amazing team of people. Okay, I always like to say, as a one person, I can move a hill. Together, we can move mountains. I always say that, and I believe that, and I stay true to that. Okay, that's why I encourage you always, guys, to be very, in the coding world, I encourage you to be an extrovert. I encourage you to try and go out there, put yourself out there, connect with other people, find amazing developers, right? That is what's going to bring you so much value, so much connections, so much opportunity when you get into this business. All right, let's continue on. So meet your instructor, guys. This is me. This is Naz. I'm the funny guy on the right-hand side. I mean, I'm not that funny. I try to be funny sometimes. I totally fail. But I try my best is what I'll tell you, okay? What I'll tell you is I try my best. But this is me. I like to throw computers up in the air. That's what I like to do. And of course, don't worry, I did not break it. Although they break later on. So that's it. But I've been coding for the past 10 years. I've been in the business for the past 7 years. I've interviewed with so many companies. I mean, including Google, including Twitter, Khan Academy, Squarespace, Palantir. I mean, you name it, right? I've interviewed with companies like, for example, even what's another company that was a big one for me? Urban Science as well. So many different companies, guys. All right, let's go and continue on. Beautiful. Let me go ahead and make sure that this is all. Whoop, there we go. Awesome. I'm gonna continue on like this. All right, so let's take a look at what you're about to build, guys. These next few right? What are you about to build these next few days? Okay. Well, a few things. Okay. This is again, these designs are brought to you by a company called Front End Mentor. It's an amazing company where they build projects. Who here has ever had a situation where maybe you yourself did not know what project to build? Anybody? Raise your hand. Or you were confused, or you did not have an idea. Well, Front End Mentor has the idea for you. So they actually have the amazing designs for you, and all you do is just simply build them using, your JavaScript skills, HTML, CSS. So for example, as I saw over here, this is what they've got. They've got an amazing product. You can just simply choose, go on there. It's called Front End Mentor. Just check it out. It's gonna be amazing. Okay, just trust me on this one. Okay, so 20K, one of the things that we're going to build is something called a 20K startup landing page. That is part one. And it looks a little bit like this. Look at this. It's a beautiful, amazing, mobile-friendly website. It's a landing page that you would sometimes build for a company. Imagine as if a freelancing company came to you and say, hey, you know what? Can you please build this for me? And you be the one to actually build it. All right? Looking very cool. Next up, we're gonna build a JavaScript game right here. It's a kind of rock paper scissors game. It looks beautiful as well. And I go ahead. What's up? Something? Okay, never mind. So another beautiful, amazing game. And then we're gonna build a SaaS product, guys. Look at this, a SaaS product. Oh, what is this? A SaaS product, right? And this product, it's a to-do application, right? To-do list application. Again, looks beautiful, looks amazing, and we will actually include something called a database. We'll use Firebase with this one, JavaScript, HTML, CSS to be able to save this data and save your to-do list app as you're working, as you're actually creating the to-do list application, to-do items. Beautiful. Last but not least, we'll put all your shiny new projects into a portfolio. That's going to look like this, right? So there we go. That's what you get. Okay. Also, last thing, we will also talk about a new front-end bootcamp that we just launched. Again, this is for those of you who are very serious about becoming developers, which I'm just really curious, who here is very serious about actually taking a challenge and becoming a developer and actually challenging themselves? I'm curious. Who is it? Whoa, what is this? What does this sound? What does that sound? Why is it like this? Let me see here. 1 second. Sorry, guys. Oh, the speaker is that one. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So for those of you who are very serious, just please put in the chat. I'm really curious. If you are serious, just say, I am serious in the chat. Okay. Just please put that in. And so we'll be talking about how we can help you out. We've launched this amazing new bootcamp that takes you from zero to front developer in 90 days. Amazing. We're very serious about this. We've done this for many students. A lot of our students have already got jobs, results, making over $70,000. Yeah, it just continues on. We'll be talking about that later on as well. Beautiful. So the question is very simple. Are you ready, my friends? Yes or no? Raise your hand with me if you are. We're going to get started right away on the opportunity to become a front-end developer. Beautiful. Okay. So really quick question. All right, let's get started. Amazing. So today, here's your agenda. Okay, today is your opportunity to become a developer in 2021. Day 2 is going to be about building a startup landing page using HTML, CSS, of course. Build a game using JavaScript. Build a SaaS product using JavaScript as well. And how to become a front developer in 90 days. We'll be talking about that on last day, right? What are the steps you need to take to actually be that developer, right? Because you've built all these different projects. Now you need to actually do something with them. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Beautiful. So, okay. In this one, we'll be talking about your opportunity. We will be unraveling the myths behind becoming a developer. We'll talk about how to get started with code, how to build or host your own portfolio online as well. Okay, nice. We'll go deep into building your personal roadmap and how to land a job as a developer, as a full-stack developer, or as a front developer. But for now, let's figure out why you want to become a developer. Does that sound good? Let's figure out why are you here. Okay, so let me ask you this question. What are the 3 things more important to you than money? I'm really curious. What are the 3 things more important to you than money? You guys tell me. And please put it in the chat, please. What are 3 things more important to you than money? Family, a lot of people say. Joy, love, family, putting my idea out there in the world. Time, career. Nice, beautiful. Family, time, employment stability, flexibility. That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. So I like this, I would think, right? So, right. Now let me ask this question. What can making money as a developer help you achieve in your life? I'm very curious. What can making money as a developer help you achieve in your life? Let me ask you that. Not being homeless. Oh, wow. Okay. Better life for me and the family. Independence. Financial dependence. Yeah, from the financial dependence. That sounds like a lot, like freedom, financial independence, right? freedom. Nice. To live luxurious life. Open doors. Okay. Raise your hand if you just simply want, if you want freedom. Raise your hand. If you want freedom from your current job, you want freedom to be able to maybe go different places, to not necessarily be stuck in one desk, to work remotely, right? Nice. Beautiful. The opportunity, guys, in coding is so much. The opportunity around coding and what you can do with it is just astronomical, right? Support your family, have more time to spend with your loved ones, all that. Now let's figure out your income goals, okay? How much income do you want to make per month? Let me know that. And please be realistic, guys. Don't tell me like 2 million per month. Just let's start out with being realistic here, okay? 10K, 9K, 50K. 50K per month? Holy shit. 150K per month? Come on, guys. 10K, 5K. All right, okay. 10K, 8K, 9K, 9K. 10K, beautiful. Nice, but not bad, not bad. So that's a good average, okay? Now, let me ask you this. Do you want a freelance or you want a full-time, right? So if you want a freelance or full-time, put in the chat as well. Which one would you rather have? Freelance or full-time? Just really curious here. Freelance, or maybe you want to do both. Both is fine too. Freelance, full-time, both. Nice. Beautiful. Okay, awesome, sweet. Okay, let's go ahead and get started on this one. So there's freelance, of course, there's full-time right here. All right, so of course, guys, in terms of freelance and full-time, both are amazing. I've done both, and both are completely fine. You have to be careful about where you start out with, because sometimes it's not easy. Like, for example, freelancing is not the easiest thing. I will always tell you that. You know, if you think that freelancing is a piece of cake where you sit on your ass for the whole day and you make $10,000 a month, it is not. And I will be always realistic with you, and I will never be the kind of a liar person, okay? It is hard as fuck, and I will tell you this right now. And even as a senior developer, I was probably making less than when I was working at a full-time job. So there you go, as a freelancer. Now, granted, this was only 1 year into freelancing. Once you pass the 1 year, you can definitely start making more. But just letting you know that it is not easy. So if you want to lay in your trousers on the beach and coding and making $1 million a month, that's not gonna happen. Sorry. Hopefully none of you guys are here for this reason. Okay. Because, I'll be realistic with you. So guys, the really cool thing about, coding is the developer growth is so much. If you look at it, right, in terms of web developers, look at this. Web developer growth is growing every single day. Anybody know why that's the case? Why is developer growth growing so much? Anybody know? Why is it the case? Please put in the chat. What do you guys think? Right? There's a few reasons why that's the case. Because everything is digital. That's a really, really good point. Everything is digital, right? Also because everything is moving to the web. Everything is moving to the web. You see what I mean? So the web, using JavaScript, right? Even for example, applications like your applications that you download from iOS, for iOS, are now becoming more web related, are now becoming more JavaScript related applications. Okay? Again, computer jobs are increasing dramatically, and then here's all the other jobs increase. So you can see web development jobs is always going to be higher. This is the coolest graph right here. Why do you think this graph is so important? What does it tell you? Right? What have we seen here? Well, we've seen a few things, right? Right, it's also becoming remote as well. That's right, Retro. That's right, I think it's becoming more remote. Why is this graph so important? Because what do we have here? Look at this, guys. 1.4 million computing jobs, right? 2020. You see this, guys? That's right. Job to student ratio. That's right, right? But how many students we have is only 400,000. So if the demand is so high, then how do you compensate for that? If the demand is so high, then what usually happens? If the demand is so high and the supply is so low, what usually happens in that situation? What do you guys think? That's right, Dan. The pay increases by a lot, right? Right? Like I said, it is a top paying degree. It is the top paying, one of the top paying salaries you'll get. So that's why the opportunity is there so high. But I want to be also frank with you, because I do not want you to get into this just for the money. I know too many people who are into this just for the money. And let me tell you, most of them have failed. Period. If you're in it just because you just want the money, it's not going to happen. Why? Because it's going to get hard. Why? Because it's going to be difficult at some point. It's going to be where you will struggle. You will feel down. You will feel like you don't want to do this. And a way to compensate for that is if you deep down inside, you know your proper why. You know that you're not just doing it just for the money. Money is going to be great and it's going to be an amazing result that you'll get. Yes, you can be making great money with this. I know developers who are making $200,000 and so forth. Right? $200,000 and so forth. Now, with that being said, the one thing I want to tell you is the opportunity is there. If you are here because you understand, hey, I'm actually interested in something like this. I actually love the problem solving. If that's your reason, then you're in a good place. That's right, Joe. Passion is first. Thank you, Refa. Retro says, I want to create, build, and rebuild digital. Yeah, nice job, right? Let's continue on. Okay, salaries in the US, January 2021. Like I said, look at this, guys. iOS right here. We got, Android. We have JavaScript. Look at this. It's a JavaScript, my friends, right here. JavaScript, always increasing, always so up, right? $112,000. And this is just an average, guys, by the way. This is just average. Okay, Python, $110,000. Now, which one do you think is the easiest one to learn to get into? Which one do you guys think? Somebody said none of them. It's actually these two right here. See, Python and JavaScript. So Python and JavaScript are the easiest one to learn. Okay, I personally started with JavaScript. That was my start. Okay. Now, the thing is, with Python, that's also amazing, and some of you might like Python. Now, the only thing that Python can be hard sometimes is actually because anybody here who's very visual, they like to see visual things. They like to see visual aspects, right? They like to see the results, in visual, beautiful things. Anybody here? Raise your hand. I'm just really curious. Oh, Frankie. Yes, of course. That's right. That's right. Because the cool thing about JavaScript is that it's very visual. That's the really big benefit that we get with JS, right? Is that as you're building things, you can see them right away on the spot. You don't usually get that with Python, unfortunately. That's not the case. A lot of Python is just quoting like data. It's working with a lot with data. That's what Python is. So that's why we focus so much on JavaScript, because we feel like JavaScript is a lot easier to get into, and we feel like a lot of people are a lot more visual. You see what I mean? And of course, once you learn one language, like let's just say like this, you can then learn what? If you learn one language, can you now learn another language? Yes or no? Can you now learn another language? Of course you can. Yes, that's right, Sharon. That's right. If you learn this language, you can learn this one, you can learn this one, you can learn this one, you can learn Python if you want to, guys, okay? Beautiful. Let's continue on. So like I said, remote work, guys, during COVID-19, guys, you know that remote has been a really big thing in the past few months. I mean, look at this. We've got remote work right here. I mean, look at this. It's just increasing like crazy, guys, right? Anybody here would like to work remotely? Just curious. Anybody here? Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, that's right. I do too. I like working remotely. Though I don't always get the chance to, but I have the option. This, my friends, is why JavaScript. So let's talk about why JavaScript. Well, for a few things. Well, it's actually one of the ones that are very popular right now, right? So, right, it's the most used programming language among developers worldwide. If you look at this, guys, look at this. HTML, CSS, SQL, Python. So yeah, this is why it's just such a popular language. And it's always increasing because the World Wide Web is huge, right? When you go to a website like Facebook, what do you think it uses underneath the hood? What do you think it uses underneath the hood? That's right, JavaScript, Arturo. That's right. JavaScript. Okay. Next up. Like I said, these are the most popular languages based on Stack Overflow survey. Also very, very important. Next up. Okay, another framework. So another thing we will always focus on is also like frameworks. Is what is the most important framework to learn as well. So we focus on React.js right here. That's our main focus, which is this one. And of course, this one's really, really popular because, of course, React.js was built by Facebook and a lot of people started using it. And so it's become one of the most popular ones. Now, those of you who don't know this, React.js is kind of like the following. It's kind of like, it's what makes, so think about this. If the cake is the JavaScript, that's the cake. Okay, it's the JavaScript. The React.js is all the filling that makes the cake beautiful. Okay, and makes the cake really, really taste well. Okay, that's the React.js to JavaScript. Okay, it's using the cake as the base. That's the simplest way I can put it. It's using the cake as the base, and it's using the other things as a way to kind of make things easier and a lot easier for you to code. Beautiful. Next up, what can you do with JavaScript is my question. Well, a few things. Well, think about it. Top companies with JavaScript. I mean, look at this: Tinder, Uber, Tesla, Netflix, Google, Airbnb, LinkedIn. You name it, guys. They are using JavaScript. Okay, eBay, Groupon. They just continue on, PayPal, and so forth. Now, here are some applications you can build. For example, you can build web apps. Anybody know what web apps are? Okay. Sam says, don't ever design cake nas. What is a web app? Anybody know what web app is? That's right. It's a web-based application. So a web app, guys, is basically like Facebook. That is what a web app is. It's like Facebook. It's a full-on application where you can interact with it. It is not WordPress necessarily, Jennifer. It's not WordPress. It's more so like it's a full-on application that you can interact with. You see what I mean? You can interact with it in a few ways. One way you can interact with it is by simply, you can log in, password, you can log in, and then you can do a lot of different functionalities, like view the news feed, right? View pictures, right? You name it, you can do it, right? That's a whole web application. We also have server apps. Anybody know what server app is? Anybody? What's a server app? That's right, Joe Diaz. Web apps are single-page applications. A lot of the times they are very much single-page applications. A web app, guys, is actually something called a backend application. For example, Node.js, which is a technology for your server apps. Node.js is called, right? And what this literally does is, like, for example, Netflix on the backend, how do you guys think they store all the data? Like, how do you think that when you log in, you see all these different videos, all these movies, you can click on one and you can watch it? How do you think that works? It's all because of these apps, the server apps. That's right. So when you, for example, log in and you put in your username and you put in your password, that username and password are going to be checked against a server application that's running somewhere on the server, somewhere in the cloud. Okay, it's floating up in the air. Okay, and it's giving us some water. Okay, I'm just joking, and this server app, my friends, is what's going to check. Hey, for example, is Philip a real person or not? If he's not, if his password is wrong, it's like, no, Philip, your password is wrong. Try again. Or if Lamont, for example, decides to, for example, do it, and he's like, I don't, and he's trying to put in a password, and he gets the password wrong. Nope, that's not right. You see what I mean? So that's what's gonna happen here. And of course, we have iOS and Android apps right here, guys. Again, these are apps like, for example, Tesla app, which is actually built using JavaScript. Crazy enough. That's right. Okay, the myths of becoming a developer. And we know what are some myths? What are some myths about becoming a developer? Anybody know? What do you guys think? What are some myths about becoming? You will type like a rocket. That's right. Guys, I'll be honest with you. I'll be fully frank with you. I am probably the slowest typer you will ever meet in the world. And yes, I'm a senior developer, but I'm the slowest typer in the world. Trust me. But it's because coding is not about typing a lot. It's about typing little with a lot of intention. That's what it's about. Okay? So I can type a lot less, but I can type with a lot of intention and do a lot bigger things. Okay? That's why. So one first question, do I need a degree to get a job as a developer? That's my first question. Good job, though. No, Joe. That's right. You cannot. You should not. Well, you don't have to. You can if you want to. That's not necessarily the right thing, though. A lot of my friends don't even have degrees. If you go to Google, guys, Google themselves, they say, do I need a computer science degree to be a Google software engineer? No. A CS degree is not required for most of our software engineering or product manager roles. I mean, it's right there. Okay. Can it get any more blunt? I don't think so. Right? Okay. So here, I'm a self-taught, no degree whatsoever. I didn't have a problem landing a job at Microsoft regardless. With a few years of mostly C++ experience under my belt, wouldn't say even it was hard. And no one at work had asked me if I have a degree or not. Guys, most of my friends who are developers right now working in many different companies do not have degrees. Just letting you know. It's not necessary. That's why we say screw certifications. Okay? We don't need certifications. If you are expecting certification from this 5-day challenge, this is not the challenge for you. But if you're expecting amazing value and you're expecting to learn a lot of things, then yes, this challenge is for you. I don't care what certificate you have. I'm going to test you on just how good you are and what you can do. That's I very much believe certifications are bullshit. Sorry to say that, but it's bullshit. For the most part. Okay? For the most part, it is. Next type. So, for example, Tesla, right? Elon Musk himself. He's like, somebody said to him, you can't succeed in life without a degree. That's why you need schooling if you want to go to Harvard. That's not true. Don't confuse schooling with education. I didn't go to Harvard, but the people that work for me did. You see? He says, somebody asked him a question, do you still stand firmly or not requiring college degrees? Or not requiring, he's like, yes. Right? So even a Tesla, for example, Elon Musk, anybody here loves Elon Musk and what he does? Anybody here loves Tesla? Yeah, I love Tesla, guys. Such a good car. It's fast as hell, I'll tell you that. Yeah, gotta really buckle up your seats. So that's right, guys. You don't necessarily need this, okay? Let's take a look at the salaries now outlook. Okay, salaries have all been going up in the past few years, right? And continue to go up because why? Demand continues to go up. Okay? Somebody said, I love their company. Sam says, I love my Model Y. You have a Model Y? Which one do you have? I have a Model Y too, actually. That's right. I have a blue Model Y. Yeah. So that's really, really cool. But yeah, that's the thing, guys. Is like the salaries of developers are continuously increasing, non-stop, okay? Oh, somebody said white. Oh, I got the blue one. Blue is cooler. I'm just kidding. Next up. Here's the breakdown again. This is what the entry-level software engineer does. So software engineer salaries is SpaceX, Tesla, for example, Cruise, okay? Again, average, these are all average engineering jobs. For example, SpaceX, 109,000, Tesla, 128,000, Cruise is 152,000, right? And these are all stock options, of course, right here. You can get as well. And again, these are all average numbers. These are all average numbers, guys. Just want to let you know about this, okay? You might not be starting out with this number. I want to be upfront with you. You might start out with potentially $70,000. That might be your start. If you maybe have some experience in other fields, you might start out with 90,000. That might be another one. But I will be very frank with you that you will start out with something like this right away. Okay? Somebody said, I will accept 60K and scale up. Nice job. I like it, Sam. That's good. I like it, Sam. That's awesome. I like it. So again, the cool thing about development, though, is that, again, we're not here for the money. When I first started coding, I was working for free for 2 years. I worked at a startup company, completely free. That is how I actually started my career. As I joined this startup company, I had a few people at the startup company who became my mentors. I learned from them. That's right. And that's how my career got started personally. It was not through college. It was not through anything else. I had amazing mentors who mentored me, and I had an amazing team who pushed me. And I literally came up to them and said, I will work for you for free if I just learn the skills. And that's what I did. And so for some of you, if you really, really want to make this happen, one of my biggest recommendations to anybody is, you know what? Find a startup company, and exchange a lot of your work for just free, for no money, in exchange for skills. Because skills, the ROI in skills is astronomical. You can either get a certain amount of money and you can be paid $20 an hour, or you can be paid $600 an hour later on in your life with the skill that you just learned. You see what I mean? With the skills you just learned. The 2 years that I worked for them for free is the reason why I'm standing in front of you today. It is the reason why I'm teaching you today. The skills I learned during those 2 years with them is the reason why I am here and teaching you. The reason why I'm building these projects, the reason why, we have a bootcamp that exists. Not the only reason, of course, but it was a big, of course, push of the reason how it made me the way I am today. So I want you just to keep that in perspective, guys. Don't chase the money. Chase the skills. Chase the experience. Chase the knowledge. That's the right thing to chase, especially in the coding world. Because if you know how to be a good coder, a good developer, quality coder, good developer, your value is no longer 170,000 or 157,000. No, your value is now 200K, 250K, and even more. That's your value. Versus if you just simply do, hey, I want to build this, I want to just make money, I want to charge money right away. I have friends who have charged money previously. I have friends who went to other jobs, and what they honestly just did is they just wanted a nice paycheck. They were earning $20 an hour. I was happy with that. They were pretty much happy. They were working in a big company. Then they came to me later on. They said, Naz, I don't want to do coding anymore. Why is that? Well, the company that paid them, actually, because it was such a big company, and again, I have nothing against big companies, but that big company restricted them on what they can learn. Instead, he was just doing a bunch of grunt work, filling in data, that kind of stuff. Not interesting. He was not being creative and learning the knowledge and growing as a developer. What you want to chase is, how do I grow as a developer? How do I learn? How do I get the skills? How do I get the experience? That is what you should be chasing. And also, how do I make friends in this business? Like it or not, in this business as well, and very important, it's not about what you know, but I know it's about who you know, guys. I know it's crazy for you to think about that, but let me just be upfront with you. All of my jobs that I've had, even the way I'm currently working with you guys here today, even the way I'm here at Clever Programmer, is all because of people that I know. I didn't come here alone. I came here with people. I didn't get my jobs alone. I got them with people that I know. They're with people that I'm trusted with. That's right. Okay? Zach, if you said how long before the video is posted on YouTube, well, it currently is already streaming on YouTube, so hopefully you should be on there, by the way. So can we double check? Is a YouTube video? Yeah, it is. Yeah, the video right now is streaming to YouTube. Okay. How did you find a startup company near me? Well, I went to computer science. I went to like computer groups. I had some groups in college, but if you're not in college, you can find groups on meetups.com and other different places like Craigslist as well. So you go to Facebook, you can find groups on Facebook, you can find groups on meetups.com. There's a ton of groups you guys can find, okay? It's just up to you to actually do it. Because I bet you too many of you are too introverted, and I know I can't say anything about introverted, but too many of you are too introverted, and you guys want to go ahead and just not meet anybody. Unfortunately, in this business, you should. My recommendation, you don't want to do it, feel free. But my recommendation is for you to do it. Okay? Next up. So, here's Kazi, for example, dropped out of college. This guy's an amazing guy. Of course, dropped out of college, became a millionaire at the age of 25. Started a clever programmer, taught thousands of people how to code and become developers. And now, running, clever programmer. And of course, making sure that we are, helping many students every single year. Our goal always is to get 5,000 developer jobs every single year for 5,000 people. It's as simple as that. Okay? It's as simple as that. Sam asks, how can you find project to enhance skills and get paid? Even if I get paid by portfolio building a $20 for a project, I heard people do that. Don't chase $20, Sam. Here's and this is what my mom taught me. Either go big or go home. What do I mean? Either you charge no money for a project or you charge thousands of dollars for a project. I don't like that middle ground at all. Either I charge no money, which gives me a lot more leverage to learn, or once I do know how to build things, I charge thousands of dollars. I've charged $10,000 for a project. I've charged $12,000 for a project. I mean, it goes on and on. So just letting you guys know. Don't try, hey, you know what? If you see a project, just, hey, I'll put it for free for you. Don't worry about it. I want to get the skills. Okay, this is Jessie. She's an interesting person. This is Jessie. No, but she's an amazing person. She works directly with me, and she's one of the amazing stars of the bootcamp as well. And, she actually started out as a tax law consultant, and she has 2 degrees in tax law consultant. I have no idea why, but it was her decision. And then she completely switched to computer science degree, not degree, but she got a job as developer, and completely switched to software development literally, after tax law consultant. And so she made a career switch in her life because she did not like what she was doing. And now she's actually teaching in the bootcamp. She's teaching others how to do the same. An amazing person, guys. You'll get to meet her, of course, in the bootcamp as well, if anybody here gets to join. Robert, another amazing friend of mine, right here, does not have a degree, of course. Again, there's some people that do not have degrees. By the way, the company that I started with him is called Trendala right here. If you guys want to check it out, just Google Trendala. You will see the pictures. Really, really cool. And all this is it's like a project that brings together different clothing from different stores. And so he was one of my first mentors, actually. He's the reason why I kind of became, the way I am today. On top of that, there's another guy named Steve, which made me who I am. But these guys do not have degrees at all. And they are working at big companies as engineering team lead. As a team lead, guys. That's right, as a team lead. Again, it does not matter. Just proves the point there. Okay? Here's a career ladder, and you can write this down if you want. Here is your career ladder as a developer, okay? Well, first you might start out with as a junior software developer. So when you first join a company, you might start out with just being a junior developer, okay? Toke said, is bootcamp free? No, bootcamp is not free, okay? So junior software engineer, you start out with a junior software engineer. And as a junior developer, you just come in and you kind of learn from other developers, but you also build software, you write code, you fix small bugs, when I came in as a junior developer, I was doing a shit ton of shit, honestly. I was building whole humongous projects. I was challenged to actually lead a team of people. It was insane. But, depending on what job you go to. Then at some point, you might go into the senior software engineer. So maybe that's about after a year to 2 years of coding. And this is where not only will your pay will increase by a lot, but also you will actually now get more of a leadership role. You might you might be leading a team of people, but you might be actually part of a big project that you have to like take on, not just yourself, but with a whole team. Okay. Then from that, you might go into a lead developer, coordinate work with teams here. Then you might go into a technical architect, which basically just makes sure that everything's all good on the technical side. And then you might go into the manager side, and then you might go into the CTO position. So that's your kind of ladder. CTO is a chief technology officer. And so this is where you make the most money right here, though. For sure. Though developers is still a really high income right here as well. Okay, next up. So what is the first step you should take? Good question, guys. What do I need to do to pass the interview? Another good question. And how do I get noticed? Another amazing question, okay? So first question, and of course, how many interviews to do? So first question I want to ask you is the following. What is the first step you should take? Let me ask you this. What do you guys think is the first step you should take? Please put it in the chat. What is the first step you should take? That's right. You, my friends, are here to learn. You are here to learn. Get the skills. Please. The skills is the most important knowledge. Ever heard the phrase knowledge is power? Who here has heard the phrase knowledge is power? That's right, because it is. Okay? Because it is. So the more knowledge you have, the more confidence you have, the more you can do, the more the more opportunities you get. It's unlimited, okay? Next up, what do I need to do to pass the interview? Another good question. What do you guys think you need to do to pass the interview? What do you guys think? Anybody here? That's right. So yeah, a few things I want to talk about here with something like this. Well, a few things that you need to do to pass the interview. One, of course, you need to learn. So learn right here. Okay. Part two, what you need to do is actually you need to learn algorithms and data structures. Right here. And data structures right here. You see that right here? Algorithms and data structures. So what those are those really important. It's algorithms, which is what you would mostly be tested on, on the coding interview. So it's very important you guys learn those. And of course, you need to have your mindset straight. What I tell everybody, when you go into an interview, guys, and this might sound bad, but you go in there like a fucking CEO. Period. You go in there like a CEO. You go in there with confidence. You go in there showing that you are here not to just bullshit, not to just, think that you are here just, to question yourself. No, you go in there with knowing what your value is and how you're going to provide that value to the company. Simple as that. If that's your mindset, you can get any job. When I came into a job, one of the jobs that I took on was a job where they required React.js. And I did not know React.js at all, by the way. They still hired me. That's right. They still hired me, okay? So really important. I just want to make sure that's clear, okay? Next up, how do I get noticed? Another good question. How do I get noticed? Anybody know? Networking, Lamont, that's right. So networking. Communication. Let me write this down for you. That's right. Networking. So networking right here. Communication. I want to say another big one that you need to really focus on is called something called LinkedIn. And of course, I'm going to say your resume. LinkedIn and your resume. Okay, guys? That's right. Networking, it's right. Making connections. That's how you get noticed. if you are the smartest person in the room, and do you agree with me with this or not? If you are the smartest person in the room, but you don't know how to show it, are you really the smartest person in the room? Yes or no? No. No, you're not, actually. Because nobody knows that you are the smartest person in the room still. Nor do they care. Right? So if you are really smart, if you're good at something, if you've done amazing projects, this is where you need to learn. It's like basically you are marketing yourself. You are selling yourself. You need to know how to sell yourself. And this might sound bad, but you're selling yourself for the good. You're selling yourself because you have so many amazing skills to showcase. You see what I mean? So that's how I want you to think about. Again, connections, communications. That's why it's having these LinkedIn, your resume, your connections, your network is one of the most important things you can do. Okay, next slide. Right here. Boom. So how many interviews should you take on? Anybody know? How many interviews should you have? What do you guys think? Can anybody guess? I want to say around minimum 300, guys. You want to be, when you go to the interview side, guys, it's very simple. It's as many as possible. Actually, you interview until you get the job. It's as simple as that. Okay, you interview until you get the job. I have a question. Somebody asked me a question one time. Very simple. Somebody asked me a question and said, hey, Naz, how to get a job at Google? Okay, how do I get a job at Google? I asked them a question. I said, did you apply yet? They're like, no. And I said, well, that's your first step. Right? That's your first step. So that is, what we want to focus on is how do we apply to jobs? You should be applying. When you're in the interview phase, you are applying 3 to 5 times a day. When I was in this stage, applying was my full-time job. Guys, my full-time job. And you might be too scared to apply, but you have to put that shit to the side. Otherwise, you won't go nowhere. And you'll be stuck twiddling around somewhere around coding, trying to learn everything as much as possible, trying to be perfect in coding. You will never be perfect in coding, and you will never learn exactly everything. And I might sound negative. I'm not being negative. I'm just telling you how it is. Okay? There's no reason for you to know everything. I know too many people who think they need to know everything. They need to be perfect. Too many people think that. But that's not the case, guys. Next up. So, before we do all this, guys, you need to learn how to code, of course. It's very important. Very important, okay? Let me go continue on. Again, simplify your journey, guys. Very important. So, let's go and set our goal, okay? Let's talk about your long-term goal. What is your long-term goal? Do you want to be a full-stack developer? Do you want to be a front developer? Okay, what could be your long-term goal? I want you to put in the chat, please. What could be your long-term goal? Please put in the chat. Maybe it's a front developer. Maybe it's a full-stack developer. Nice. Technical lead, full stack. Full developer 2 to 3 years. Full stack. Do we need to use GitHub? No, do not need to use iOS Dev. Somebody said, Jennifer. Nice. Okay. Now, so that's your long-term goal. Let's talk about your short-term goal. What could be your short-term goal, guys? Okay. What could be your short-term goal? Right? So again, we want to think big. We want to think something that excites us. For me, what's exciting is to become a developer. That's exciting to me. Okay? We want to make sure you understand the exciting goal. But then after that, let's figure out how to actually take part into that. Now, the one big, what did I just do? I'm not sure what I just did. Okay. Now, the big exciting thing for that is the following, right? It's like, okay, great. I have all these skills, but what are steps I need to take to actually learn them? So, for example, in my case right now, our short-term goal is let's first learn the JavaScript. Okay. Let's learn the foundations. Okay. And let's actually network with people. You see that? Let's network with people. That could be your short-term goal for the next 1 to 3 months. Okay? Does that make sense, guys? All right? Beautiful. Next up. Now, once you've done this, we want to make sure we write this down. We want to create a timeline for ourselves and make a plan. So, did everybody write down your short-term and your long-term goals? Did everybody write them down? Good job, Lawrence. I see you raise your hand. Nice job. Good job. So if you did not, I'm going to give you a minute to write them down. I think it's very important for you guys to write them down, okay? Go ahead, continue on. Good, beautiful. Nice job. Next up. Again, you can also, if you want to go ahead and plan things out, you can use something called Notion. It's an amazing platform that we personally use. Don't worry, not sponsored or anything like that, okay? Now, let's talk about the 7 important habits to make sure you actually get there, okay? First things first, I want to talk about is something called fun. Guys, as we're coding, we don't want to make it a struggle. We want to make it fun. You want to build fun projects. You want to build projects that excite you. You want to learn things that excite you. If you're just like grueling, if you hate it, like if you hate what you're doing right now, would you keep doing it? Yes or no? If you hate it, tell me. Just tell me. No, you would not. So let's switch that up. Let's put fun on the pedestal. Let's put excitement on the pedestal. You see what I mean? Let's put that on the pedestal, and the other things will come a lot easier. Also, hard work, guys. Without hard work, nothing happens. Unfortunately, you have to put in the hard work, guys. Okay? It's very important. If you're going to be lazy, sitting, watching Netflix all day, it's not going to happen. Next up is patience, of course. Be patient, please, because it takes time. You're not going to be the best right away, and might not achieve your goals as fast as you want. But if you just keep pushing, you will. I have to remind myself almost every single day to stay patient, to continue doing what I love to do, and to not think about so much of the short-term gain that I want to have. Communication, very important. Learning. You have to keep learning every single day and taking initiative. When I say take initiative, what do you think this means? Let me ask you this question. What do you think it means when I say take initiative? What does that mean? What does that mean? To start. Okay, what else does it mean? What else does it mean? What do you guys think? To be proactive. That's right. So when I say take initiative, a lot of times when I am talking to, for example, developers, a lot of developers can be something called a yes people. I call them yes man or just yes people in general. Okay? And basically the way it kind of works is like, hey, can you build this for me? Yes. Hey, can you do this for me? Yes. Hey, do you think this is okay? Yes. Do you think this feature is good? Yes. I say screw that. Okay? I'm going to say yes when I think it's appropriate. Now, what does that mean? That means that I'm going to take initiative on the projects that actually make sense. If, for example, a manager comes up to me and says, hey, Nas, can we build a feature? I want us to build this feature in the next 2 weeks. What is the right answer to that? Tell me. What is it? What is the right answer? If somebody comes up to you and says, hey, Nas, can you build this for me for the next 2 weeks? What is your answer? Somebody said no. Arjun says start working. Yes. I said fuck yes. Yes, let's do this. Let me check my schedule. So actually, here's what I say. Sam, you got it, my friend. That's right. Let me look into it and I will let you know. Let's figure out if what you're trying to build is all actually going to help you achieve your goal. Too many people, when they go into this, they think, hey, I need this feature, I need to do this, I need to do this and that, and they think that's going to actually help them achieve their goal. If the goal, for example, of a specific thing they want to do is, I want to increase engagement on the website or something like that, and they come up with a stupid like a interesting way that will not let them do it, it's not going to help. And you're going to waste a lot of time. So instead, let's put, goals on a pedestal. What I will say to this person is like, okay, thank you, appreciate it, but let's take a look at if what you're trying to build is also actually going to achieve your goal. Let's figure out what your actual goal is. And if it's not going to achieve your goal, let's figure out what will achieve your goal. That's the simplest way to just put it, okay? Another way to say is like this. Hey Naz, hey Naz, do you want to build a feature? Great. Let me go ahead and figure out if it's actually going to achieve our goals. And let me take a look at how long this will take us. And I will get back to you. Simple as that. You are somebody who's taking initiative. That's why I like to use that word. How to learn to code? Okay. You can either be anybody here who's this person. Anybody here this person? Raise your hand. Anybody here like this? That's right. That's Frankie right there. Frankie is this person right here. That's Frankie, right? Anybody here with this person? Anybody raise your hand? Darwin, Rohith, Maria. Maria, really? Come on, Maria. Someone's like, no. Jaden said, I have my moments. Nah, I have an ultra wide. Chris says no. Okay. Well, if you are, that's okay. I've been there multiple times. It's okay. All right. And there's this person. Anybody here is this person right here? Anybody here who's this person? Craig says sometimes. Not even close. Definitely not me. Jennifer says me. No. Lamont, no. Lamont, yes, says. Yes. So guys, we actually want to be more on this side. We want to be those curious kids who say, how can we solve this? How can we get this? You know that kid, like little, anybody has kids? Everybody has kids? Anybody have kids? You know how sometimes kids are, I don't have kids. I have a sister. So that's how I'm getting my perspective. Okay, I have a sister. But when she was little, she just would, no matter what she wants, she will cry at it. She wants it. She will get it no matter what. If she wants chocolate, she will go for it no matter what. Right? So they can be very, very whiny sometimes and very, in a way like annoying, not annoying, but like whiny, like isn't they want it and they will do anything to get it. That kind of needs to be us sometimes. In a weird way. We need to be thinking about, hey, what can we do? What are the possibilities we need to do to actually get what we want? Khan says that you were talking about my kids. That's funny, right? So there you go. Now, here is the roadmap to actually there's something called a full stack developer right here. So for example, if you're a full stack developer, you get to learn something like front end right here, back end, databases, DevOps. You don't necessarily need to learn these. Don't focus on these, but you would focus on something like this. Now, some of you might want to actually focus first on front end. This might be your option you want to focus on, right? So this might be something easier for you. Some of you might want to focus on backend right here, okay? And some of you might want to focus on the database right here. Now, each of these individually are very important, and each of these individually are also have a lot of results, okay? Now, if you just focus on one though, number one, you might get the results faster. You might get your job faster. When I first started with this right here. I then moved on to this. And then, of course, while learning this, I was learning this together. But my first start was simply just this right here. That was my first start, okay? Nice. So again, what do we need to learn? HTML, JavaScript, React.js, Firebase. These are things you need to learn to actually, get or to learn to become a front developer. So hi Naz, this slide, the hell? Is this David? He put that's funny, David. Okay, so now guys, here's the big difference, okay guys? There's HTML, the CSS, and the JavaScript. And in this 5-day challenge, we're going to be learning all of these, okay? So HTML is kind of like the bones, right? So for example, if you look at, for example, I'm going to use an example here, Craig. Okay, Craig, right? Craig, your bones, right, is the structure, right? Underneath the skin, your bones is the structure. That, my friends, is the HTML. Raise your hand if you understand that with me. Yes or no? You get it? Good. Now, whatever you get dressed up with, for example, if you get dressed up and you put on clothes, for example, I have a nice t-shirt right now. I have this t-shirt. I have maybe, you know, the color of my hair, maybe what jeans I got. That, my friends, is your CSS. It is your presentation and your appearance. Okay? Now, the JavaScript is the funky part. Who here likes to dance? Anybody? Hey, let's go retro. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, salsa. Really, Joe? You like to dance salsa? No way. I didn't know that. Yeah, I like to dance salsa too. But yeah, JavaScript is the movement. It is what makes everything work. That's right. So JavaScript is like how the way this guy's dancing. You know? That is the JavaScript. It is what makes everything dynamic. HTML is just a structure. CSS is the presentation. What makes it all work is JavaScript. That's right. Sam says, I like eating salsa. Me too. I like eating salsa too. Especially with chips. Chips and salsa, great combination. That's right. Okay. Next up. So Ken, when we are learning HTML, what I want you guys to focus on is very much. Learn the basics, make a page, make it work, okay? Do not overcomplicate it. Too many people that I talk to all the time, they say, hey Naz, it took me 1 month to learn HTML, CSS. I took this one course and I focused one whole month on HTML, CSS. I'm like, why? I can teach you HTML and CSS in 1 week max. You don't need to learn all of that. That's what I'm trying to get to. So don't overcomplicate. Keep it simple. Again, this is what HTML and CSS looks like. Anybody have seen this before? Raise your hand, just really curious. Anybody? Yeah. And raise your hand if you did not have never seen this before now. Raise your hand if you've not seen this before. Anybody? Yeah, so we have a few people who have not seen this before. Nice. So what this is HTML page. And the way HTML is structured is very simple. Every HTML website has a doc.html, which is saying that this is an HTML document. Starts out with HTML tag. Then we have a heading tag. Anybody know what a heading tag is? Anybody know this tag right here, heading tag? Anybody? Yeah. That's right. So yeah, Jay. So the heading tag is very simple. By the way, Jay, I like your microphone. It looks really cool. So the heading tag is very simple. The heading tag is what's basically all the little behind the scenes stuff going on. So you might include things like JavaScript in there. You might include the CSS in there. You might include the title in there. And then we have the body. Anybody know what the body is? Raise your hand. Anybody know what the body is? Nice. Good. So let's go, Lamont. Nice job. The body, guys, is your H1 tags. It's your P tags. The body is your actual full-on website. It is your structure, your divs. It is how your actual website is going to look like. The head, as literally, imagine this. The head is literally your head. Okay? The head is literally your head. It's like there's a lot of stuff that's going on behind the scenes. You don't really notice it, okay? The body is actually your body, right? The head controls the body. Just think about it that way, okay? And of course, we got CSS. Again, very simple. Do not overcomplicate this. Learn how to use different layouts. Flexbox, write this one down. Flexbox, guys, very, very, very popular and very important. Flexbox, okay? And of course, we have responsive design, and then we have media queries here, guys, okay? So that, my friends, is the different ways. Nice. And of course, we have navigation. We have this is how CSS looks like. Again, we will get to learn how to use that today or the next few days. Beautiful. JavaScript. Now, of course, with JavaScript, it's a lot more difficult. JavaScript is not as easy as some of you might think. Not as easy as some of you might think at all. Okay. All right. So instead, what I want you guys to do is what I want you to focus on is how to master the fundamentals, right? How to master the data types, functions, ES6, DOM manipulation, scope, data structures, algorithms, fetch API, all those small things you need to learn. Now, HTML and CSS is going to be easier for you. This right here is hard. That's right. This is the hardest part. But this is also the most important part you need to learn, my friends. Data structures, algorithms. This is what you'll be tested on the actual interview. Your DOM manipulation, your functions. This is what you use every single day when you create JavaScript applications. Your fetch API, same thing. Your data types, same thing. What we want to do, guys, is the following. And I like to use this terminology, okay? Let me go and exit this out. When we go ahead, let me say this. I'm going to build a house right now. Looks like this. You see this house right now? You see this house? Now, this house, of course, has a roof. Yes or no, right? It's a roof. Right here has a roof. And, of course, it has some kind of foundation, right? Like it's standing on the ground, right? Of course, this is your ground right here. And underneath the ground, of course, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's like it has a foundation. Yes or no? Correct? What do you think is this foundation? I know, Retro. I'm not a house builder. That's right. So your foundation is actually the fundamentals of JavaScript. It is the fundamentals of HTML. It is the fundamentals of CSS. It is the fundamentals of JS, of JavaScript, guys. That is your foundation. And if you don't learn these foundations, if you don't learn the functions, if you don't learn the DOM manipulation, the scope, the data structures, the algorithms, the fetch API, all those different aspects that make coding possible, then my friends, if you don't learn this, let me ask you, if you have a shitty foundation, what kind of a house can you build? A shitty house, that's right. It's like you're building a roof when there's no house. And would you want to live on a roof? I mean, some of you might want to do that. But would you want to live on a roof? No, you would not. Right? So, what our goal is, hey, you know what? We need to focus on this foundation. We need to focus on building this foundation so well, so good, that the rest becomes easy. Then we can build beautiful, maybe we can add furniture to this. We can add a bar stool table. Again, I'm horrible at drawing, but you get my point, right? Who knows, right? Maybe we build rooms. Want to have this foundation down. The other stuff is 10 times easier, guys. Next up. Again, this is how JavaScript looks like. Again, you will learn JavaScript as we continue on going with this, okay? So, let's go ahead. Let's talk about the frameworks, guys. Now, JavaScript in itself is very useful, but JavaScript is not useful if you want to build big applications, okay? If you just learn JavaScript. This is where after JavaScript, we need to actually, once you've learned the JavaScript portion, we need to now go into something called frameworks. So framework is the following, okay? Framework is, for example, there's Angular. That's built by Google. Then there is things like Vue. Vue was actually built by somebody who created React.js. Actually, Vue was built by somebody who created Angular, my bad. And then there is React.js. Now, we focus on React.js because it's one of the most popular ones. It's the easiest one to grasp. Personally, I think so. And a lot of people start to use it. Now, anybody know why? Anybody know why? Anybody know why? Let me see this here. Ooh. Anybody know why specifically you need a framework? Tell me. Why? Reusable components, Ankit said. You guys tell me, what do you guys think we need to use to build the rest on it? That's right. Make your code easier, understandable. Yeah, that's right. Samuel said because not said so from fast. Yeah, well, if you want to build applications like Facebook, right? If you want to build applications like Facebook, there's a lot of pages that are used. So for example, the JavaScript application, of course, might use an HTML page like this, might have the header, the body. But the thing is, like, for example, you might have the navigation bar, which is reused on every single page. And it's the same navigation bar everywhere. So with JavaScript, it's really hard to reuse the same little components. But with frameworks like React.js, which make things a lot easier, it is what allows us to build amazing applications like Facebook. Your current Facebook app, guys, that you're using on the web is built with React.js. That's right. It is built with React.js, my friends, okay? So if you think about it, the React.js is like the icing for the cake. It is what makes it beautiful, makes it taste good, Otherwise, if it's just like batter, I don't want that. Am I right? Somebody said it's to hold up your body. That's right. Nice. So again, some companies are using these different frameworks. We've got, for example, let me go ahead and do this. We've got, for example, AngularJS. We've got React.js, Vue.js. So Airbnb, Instagram, Uber Eats, Dropbox are all using React.js. On top of, for example, of course, Facebook. Facebook now uses React.js as well. The Guardian, Upwork, PayPal, Sunny uses AngularJS, Vue, Alibaba, Grammarly, GitLab, and so forth, right? So a lot of big companies are using these frameworks to build their applications. Okay, next up. Okay, now, so which should you choose? Well, again, why we choose React is because it is one of the most popular ones. Now, I want to let you know, guys, that, again, as you're learning this, please don't jump into React.js and think that you need to learn this first. Please don't do that. You are shooting yourself in the foot. Anybody here who's learned a framework before they actually learn the foundations first or learn JavaScript first? Darwin said yes. Retro. Anybody else? And Darwin saying yes, and it's hell. Yeah. So what happens is it's like you're trying to put the icing when there's no cake. We want to learn the foundations first, which makes things later on so much easier with React.js. Retro said, well, I tried to learn React before learning JS. And how was that, Retro? Let me know in the chat. I'm just curious. Somebody said Retro's like a nightmare. That's right. It's because we did not know. Think about it. This React.js was built on JavaScript, by the way. I don't know if you guys know, but it's using JavaScript underneath the hood. So a lot of its functionality, it's all using JS. But you're trying to learn crazy functionality where you don't know what it's built on. So we want to learn what it's built on, how that works, and then the rest can be a lot easier after that. So like I said, React becoming very popular every single year right here. So React for the win, okay? Again, top tech companies using React, Tinder, eBay, Uber, PayPal, Groupon. I mean, you name it, guys. They're all very popular. Okay, now some resources for you guys to learn, very important. Okay, of course, we have a learn one developed by building projects. We have that's just like a small little course that we have. If you guys want to go ahead, these are the modules that we have. Also, we have, for example, free code camp. There's a YouTube from the mentor, a lot of amazing applications. If you guys want to learn something for free, get started really quickly. Free code camp is an amazing start right here. Free code camp, amazing start. Of course, YouTube. On YouTube ourselves. By the way, we hit 1 million subscribers, guys. It's amazing. We just hit that literally like a few days ago on YouTube. Give us a round of applause. I would much appreciate that. Honestly, this was a big achievement for us because on YouTube, of course, we do a lot of videos as well. So, for example, we have a 1-hour HTML course, which you can, of course, check it out, of course, if you want. There's an HTML course. There's a CSS course right here, right? There's an HTML course. And if you want, you can also even get, we have an 8-hour JavaScript course right here as well. So all for free if you want to check this one out. No problem whatsoever, okay? Okay, some resources, like, for example, there's Discord, there's Slack, there's Facebook, there's LinkedIn. You can check out all these little, for example, on Facebook, you can find groups, like you can find JavaScript groups or like web development groups. Same thing on LinkedIn, same thing on Instagram, same thing on Discord, same thing on Slack. And you can actually join those groups and learn a lot from them as well, okay, guys? Beautiful. Of course, join the community. So it's very important, guys. Okay, and of course, and that's pretty much it. And of course, we also want to help you become a developer as well. So, but before we do that, guys, what I want to go into is that we actually have a small homework for you. Let me go and take a look at this. Where's my homework? Do we have homework? So I actually have homework for you. I'm not sure what I don't see it on here, but I actually have homework for you, and that homework for you is very simple. Okay. Yeah. So we have homework for you guys moving forward, guys, okay? And the kind of all you need to do is the following, which is you need to very simply just go ahead and create your own portfolio, and of course upload your portfolio as a Facebook comment, and that's pretty much it. So, for example, we're going to give you guys, let me go ahead and say this to you. We're going to give you guys a let me say this to you right now. We're going to give you, let me say this. We're going to give you right here. Boom, boom, boom. So here's your homework right now. And this all will be posted in Facebook, by the way. If you're on Facebook, this will all be posted on Facebook. Post on Facebook, okay? So for your homework, okay, if you are interested, of course, I suggest that you actually have to do it. I suggest that you do it. Part 1 is you want to create your, download the portfolio. And again, the link for the portfolio will be in the Facebook post that we'll make. Download the portfolio from the Facebook post. And part 2, of course, we want to go ahead and talk about this. And after you download portfolio, you want to go ahead and launch it. And then make any additions that you can. Make any additions possible. Now, all you would do is simply we have an actual video that talks about how do you download it, how do you change it. And for example, you would add your own picture. Add your own picture. You would add your own colors. It's an actual website that we have built for you. So you get the whole portfolio right away. Add your own colors. That's pretty much it, guys, okay? And of course, the part 3 is going to be, okay, upload your portfolio, a screenshot your portfolio to Facebook. That's it. Does that make sense, guys? So go ahead and screenshot this right now. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. And again, this is your homework. We'll post this in the homework post, and you will have the actual link, the full link to how to download the portfolio. Don't worry. This will show up right away after we finish this call. Okay, guys? Does that make sense? Can I get a thumbs up from you? Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you. Sweet. That's it. Cool. Okay, so go ahead and screenshot this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that's pretty much it. So that, my friends, is it. That, my friends, your opportunity to become a developer. Now, and before we fully leave, I want to talk about how we can also help you out, right? Just how I said. But did you guys screenshot the homework? Yes or no? The Facebook group again. The Facebook group. You should have joined the Facebook group when you joined when you joined this challenge. Okay, if you don't have the Facebook group, can I please get the link to the Facebook group? Somebody, maybe Frankie. Now, for those of you on YouTube, guys, this was your opportunity to become a developer. Thank you guys so much for watching. If those of you on Zoom, you guys can stay here. Don't worry about this. For those of you on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this section on how to become a front developer, how to become a developer in general. And of course, we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.